Hi ABIA judges, my name is Zena Sebastian and I am the owner of Laser Sydney. I thought I'd do something a little bit different this year because trying to capture the essence of my business in 300 words or less proved to be a little bit difficult, and I wanted to make your lives easier in getting to know me, my business, and what we're all about. Now, I'm going to try my best not to be repetitive and not to put things that I've already spoken about in the submission. I will try and make it short, but I do speak a lot, so fingers crossed. A beauty career wasn't something I instantly knew I wanted to do straight after high school. Well, so I thought. One of my friends actually recently reminded me that I used to take tweezers to school and do people's eyebrows on our lunch break, which is something I completely forgot about. So maybe I was always destined to do beauty, who knows. But purely because I am of a Fijian Indian background, and unfortunately, culturally, pursuing a beauty career is often frowned upon purely because our parents often want us to be doctors, lawyers, engineers, or even just have a uni degree. So to convince my parents was a little bit of a challenge in itself. But once I had their support, my dad was my biggest supporter, and I'm sure he's looking down on me and supporting me till this day. I started my apprenticeship through the Australian Academy of Beauty Therapy when I was just 19 years old, and I graduated with my diploma when I was about 22. I am now almost 39 years old, so it's been a little while. And boy, has it been a journey in itself. My first ever salon was called Euphoric Beauty, and I spent about $10,000 in renovating my parents' garage, performing basic beauty treatments after hours and on my days off, whilst I worked full-time in the city, more in the laser and skin side of things, just to expand my knowledge and experience in the more results-focused treatments, so I could soon then go on to open up my own laser clinic. So fast forward to when I was 24 years old, I opened up Laser Sydney from a small medical centre. I was upstairs, me, myself and I, a one-man band, until I fell pregnant with my first child, and I needed to hire my first team member to help run the clinic. 5 years operating out of the medical centre through the support of our beautiful loyal clients who encouraged me to go bigger and to open up in the shopping centre across the car park. They encouraged me to inquire, and one thing led to another. I moved into the shopping centre. Now I went from paying $1,000 a month rent to $13,000 a month and hiring 4 other team members, which was a huge risk and it was so scary, but I'm so glad I did it because that work-life balance just meant a lot to me at that time, having that team behind me to support me rather than trying to do everything myself. Fast forward 2019, just 2.5 years after expanding my first clinic, I received an opportunity to open up another location, and it was an offer that I just could not refuse. Center management offered me a fit out contribution that was quite generous, and I just felt like it was meant to be, and it just fell on my lap. So I made a few calls, and before you know it, it was going through. 2019 was by far the most challenging year of my life. I had a 4-year-old, a 6-month-old. My father had just been diagnosed with terminally ill cancer, and he had about 3 months to live. And I was also building our dream home. So I had a lot on my plate, and I honestly don't know how I did it. But 5 months from receiving the offer, I was standing in our second location in thinking I was in a dream. When we opened in December 2019, it was actually a few days before the biggest bushfires Australia has ever seen, and it was quite close to our area. So unfortunately, no one was out and about. The smoke was too thick, so we didn't have much of a grand opening. And it was literally a month or two months before COVID hit and the 6-month closures began. So the first 2 years of our second location was a complete write-off. However, life has its challenges, so does business. And we are so proud to say that 6 years on, we are still standing strong and still here today. What I am most proud of is that I was able to overcome all those challenges and create such a beautiful business, not only for myself, but for my family and for my team members as well. I am now a mum of 3, and it has allowed me that flexibility and that work-life balance to be able to be there for my children at the most crucial part of their lives, to be able to do school pickups and sporting events. I'm able to work that 1 or 2 days a week, not because I have to, but because I choose to. I love being a beauty therapist, and I never want to be completely off the tools. And unfortunately, as a business owner, the one thing that we're not taught is how to work more on the business as opposed to in the business. And because I've been lucky enough to teach myself how to do that over the last 10 years, I think it has contributed a lot to my success and where I am today. I have the most amazing clinic managers. Without them, this definitely would not be possible. I am huge in investing in my team. I send them to NLP courses, hypnotherapy, and lots of other personal development courses. I have done them personally, and it allows myself and for them to be the best versions of themselves and ultimately show up the best versions, not only for our other team members, but also for our clients. I hope I didn't bore anyone too much. It did go a little bit longer than expected. I thought I'd be a little bit funnier, but unfortunately that didn't come out too much in my explanations. I hope to hopefully network with some of you guys at the expo or at the ABIA Awards. I definitely want to be a little bit more involved with getting to know the larger community of the beauty industry, and I hope to see you guys all at the ABIA.